Hi, this video demonstrates the implementation of one of the famous sorting algorithm known as quicksort, which is a divide and conquer sorting algorithm. It works by selecting a pivot element from the list, and it's up to the user to decide which element to be the pivot element. It can be either the first element or the last element, or it can be a middle element. In this program, for demonstration purpose, I am taking the last element as the pivot. After that, partitioning other elements into the two sublists according to whether they are lesser than or greater than the pivot element. Then these two sublists are then sorted recursively. On the screen, left hand side is the Python code for the quicksort, followed by you have a control section where you can see the input to the program, that is the number to be sorted are 1, 7, 4, 1, 10, 9 and minus 2. Then it's provide a drop down list from which you can select any variable from this program, and you can see how these values are changed during program execution. Followed by you have an output area containing two buttons, start and finish. If you want to see the step-by-step execution of the quicksort, you can click the start button, or if you want to see the complete operation of the quicksort at a single step, you can click the finish button. First you have to select the variables. I am selecting my input named ARR, and I want to know the pivot element at each and every iteration or the recursion. After that, clicking the finish button here, you can see the complete execution of quicksort. This dot indicating the beginning of the quicksort. On stage 0, this is the input and last element is not decided yet. I mean the pivot element is not decided yet. So on stage 1, it will know the pivot element is the last one, that is minus 1. Now the pivot has to be placed in a position such that list containing two sublists, one with all element lesser than pivot and another with all element greater than pivot. So I have to place minus 2 in a position. I am planning to position it in the first element and swapping first element with this pivot element, so that all the element after the pivot became greater than the pivot element. So swapping is completed at this stage 3, and 1 come to the place of minus 2 and minus 2 come to the place of element 1. Now my sublist is 7, 4, 1, 10, 9 and 1, and from this sublist I have to find the second pivot element. The second pivot element is also the last element. Now I have to place 1 in a position such that all the elements are either greater than or lesser than. If I am positioning the 1 in the place of 7, it will become in a order. Okay, so now I am placing 1 in a position of 7 and 7 is moved to the position of 1. So swapping is completed. Now my sublist is 4, 7, 10, 9 and 1. Again the pivot element is 1 here. So now I again has to place this pivot element 1 in the correct position. So I am planning to position my pivot element in this position, so that all the element on the left sublist is lesser than the current pivot element and all the element in the right sublist is greater than the pivot element. So I am swapping 4 and 1 here. So swapping is completed at state 8. Now my sublist is 7, 10, 9 and 4, and the pivot element is of course the last term, that is 4. So selected 4, and I have to place the 4 in a correct position. If I place the 4 in a position of 7, what will happen? So 4 is placed in the position of 7 and swapping is completed by state 11. Now all the element on the left side of pivot element, that is 4, is lesser than 4, and all the element on the right hand side of 4 is higher than pivot element. So current pivot element is 7. I have to place 7 in a correct position. So now 7 has to come in place of 10 and 10 has to go to the place of 7. Swapping is completed, and the left sublist is containing all the element lesser than the pivot element, that is 7, and the right sublist is 9 and 10, which is of course greater than the pivot element 7. Then my pivot element is 10 and 10 is in the correct position, so no swapping is needed. So that means all the elements are sorted. So now you can stop the program by indicating this dotted line. So that's all in this video. Thank you for watching.